anyway, it all happens as President Obama blames Fox for the party's inability to reach voters. Seriously. When asked by Rolling Stone what went wrong in the election, he said white working-class voters turned out in huge numbers for Trump. And I think that part of it has to do with our inability, our failure to reach those voters effectively. Part of it is Fox News in every bar and restaurant in big chunks of the country. Okay, Fox's fault. When in doubt, just blame us. It's apparently why the Democrats took such a beating in the polls. Joining me right now, Basil Smikle from the New York State Democratic Party and political commentator Harlan Hill. You going to blame us too?
No, that should be a good thing. You're in every restaurant,
every bar, and every restaurant, and everyone is watching.
Absolutely.
And I would say that we here, certainly on this program, are much more in touch with your everyday American and how they're feeling right now about the economy in a way that, you know, Hillary Clinton and Nancy Pelosi failed to do. Harlan is a former, well, are you still a Democrat? You can say, no, I
was registered Democrat. I voted for Barack Obama. And I don't know what I am now. I think I'm a Trumpocrat. You know, I caucus with him, but I don't identify with either party yet.
And so, in your view, Nancy Pelosi, the Clintons, the establishment, they have failed you, Harlan. Why?
They have. And I think that Democrats in the House had an opportunity today. And it was, you know, they could double down on what has been a failure since 2008. Nancy Pelosi has not won an election since 2008. They've been in decline in the House since then. Or, you know, we could bring in a new generation of leadership into the Democratic establishment, and we could move in a different direction and work on behalf of the American middle class.
Why isn't that happening? Why did we see Nancy Pelosi stay on and sort of the status quo continue?
Well, it's a couple of things. Number one, I do think that there's been a movement to try to get new leadership both in the House and elsewhere. So that's one thing. But the second thing is, and I think in this very, very limited aspect, Donald Trump said he was going to drain the swamp. He really didn't. A lot of the faces that he chose are fairly known to us, including Reince Priebus. So my guess is that what the case...
Wilbur Ross is a serious investor.
Steve Mnuchin
it's
not about the qualifications,
has had a background in business and in Hollywood. I mean, these are not...
It's not about qualifications. Well, Reince is, and the Secretary is Elaine Chao. I mean, so these are people that are known to the Republican Party. So my point is, in this very limited aspect, my guess is that Nancy Pelosi's argument is like, look, I know Reince, I know some of the players here. At least in Congress, I'll be able to push them back.
But you think it needs to change?
But that said, though, I do think on the ground in state parties like the one I run, things will have to get shaken up a bit. Because
you had a shot at getting a guy from Ohio. I mean, the Rust Belt. I mean, this is why the Democrats failed, right? Because they weren't connecting to your average blue-collar voters in a way that Trump did. So don't they need a guy, say, from Ohio or someone from the middle of the country that's more in touch with those everyday folks, as opposed to San Francisco?
I believe so. I mean, look, I think the problem is that the Democrats are still in a state of denial. First, it was that they were going to slander Trump voters, 63 million Americans, as bigots, racists, homophobes, all these horrible, horrible things.
First of all, we all did.
That was the first excuse.
Yeah, they tried that.
Then it was fake news. And then it was...
You didn't do that?
I said we all didn't do that. We all didn't do that.
You meaning you personally?
We all didn't do that. And
I would say as a whole, I mean, I could play you the clip.
No, well, I would say that
deplorables.
The comments he made is one thing. We wouldn't put all of his supporters in that.
No, well, I don't want to have to replay the deplorable soundbite, but I think we've been down that road, and we can safely say that Hillary Clinton and the Democrats did their very best to make Trump supporters look like total idiots that were racist, homophobic, et cetera, et cetera. Go on with your point, Harlan.
Well, and then the last one is that they wanted to undermine the validity of the election by saying that the Russians hacked the race in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania.
Didn't just do that?
No. Look,
you just did that.
Look, they're in a complete and utter state of denial. They're not willing to come to a reckoning with why they lost.
I want to jump on that. We can get your reaction. Here's Nancy Pelosi in her state of denial moments ago.
I have a special spring in my step today because this opportunity is a special one to lead the House Democrats, bring everyone together as we go forward.
Special spring in my step. I think I'd be saying, look, you know, we got a lot of work ahead of us.
Yeah.
And we got to start to change.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but we're not in the
not your choice of words.
No, not my choice of words. But we're not in a state of denial. Look, the election result was heartbreaking.
How are you not in a state of denial? You just put her back in.
Then why did they lose?
Hold on a second. This is the point that I'm trying to make. What the congressional folks did for their very specific interest on Capitol Hill is one thing. What we have to do in the states is a whole other story. That goes back to recruiting candidates. That goes back to learning how and going to areas.
You got a lot of work. You know what? I'm going to give you a shot at trying to work on Harlan, see if you can get him back into the fold. I think that, as he said, he's left, and it's because you guys
behind
left
Trump
him.
now. He's firmly behind him.
All right, thanks so much, guys. Harlan, Basil, good to see you.